It's Sunday evening, October 17th. I'm doing my research for the week. I thought I would share. Hello, traders. Let's take a look at my last video. The last pick that I did was on Google. It was before the open on Thursday. That was my pick of the day. Really like the stock. We have this downward sloping trend line, breach to the upside. We have the stock poking through that downward sloping resistance, and we had follow through on Friday. You can see from the open Thursday to the close Friday, very nice price action. 5-minute chart, we can also see what Google's done. Actually, the 15-minute chart will help us do that. Right there to right there. Now, Google did not have the greatest momentum on Friday. The market was up. Google did not finish on its high of the day. Sometimes these moves take a couple of days to unfold. On Wednesday, Tesla was one of the picks that I highlighted along with UPST. You can see stock really didn't do a whole lot. It just kind of sat there after I said that I liked it on Wednesday. But look at that price action on Friday, and man, did we catch that breakout right there. I'm going to talk to you about Lotto Trades. Let's take a look at what happened Friday that set this trade up for the close. So I'm going to go into the daily chart. First thing we always have to talk about is the market. Market first, market first, market first. So we have this downward sloping trend line that's been breached to the upside on a daily chart. That is very bullish. We like that. There's the downward sloping trend line I'm referencing. There's the price action Thursday, and we have follow through on Friday. Let's also make sure we've got the 50-day moving average up because that comes into play. On Friday, we broke out above the 50-day moving average, never even tested it during the day. So that was nice, strong movement. Let's take a look at the 5-minute chart to see how the day unfolded. We had this gap up and then zzz, nothing, nada, the entire day. There was something interesting that happened late in the day. Now, on Fridays, we like to buy options just before the close. We call these lotto trades because they're like the lottery. They're very low probability trades, very low risk trades because we're buying at the money options that are going to expire in an hour, but very high potential reward. So let me repeat that. Very low risk, just like a lottery ticket. Very low probability of success, just like a lottery ticket. Very high potential reward, just like a lottery ticket. That's why we call them lotto trades. It's easy for us to describe them in the chat room because as soon as we say lotto, we know we're talking about weekly options that expire today. In any event, the way that things set up Friday was we had a very, very quiet day. Now, what we like to do is we like to buy these options as cheap as we possibly can. And this is a melting ice cube on an Arizona highway. These things are going to absolutely vaporize. So the key to lotto trades is that you nail your entry. You've got to have a really good entry. Well, on Friday, we had a strong market. And remember, we've got follow through on this breakout above the 50-day moving average and that downward sloping trend line. So everything looks good on Friday. But what we need is time premium decay. Tick, tick, tick. So I had mentioned to everyone we're about 2 hours before the close, and I said, we're trying to push through the high right here, and this is going to attract a lot of bullish speculators because we've had such big bullish price action in the market the last few days that buyers are going to be looking for a closing rally. Well, we're 2 hours out. It's too early. It's not going to happen. And so you get this nice green candle. A doji after that green candle is fine, but then you need liftoff. You need separation. You need escape velocity. You need a long green candle in here. Then you know the buyers are in control and things will continue higher. That didn't happen. In fact, we got doji after doji. And what this does is you see a little tick up, a little tick up, a little tick up. Every time you get those little ticks up, and face it, we've all been there. You want to buy. You're like, oh my gosh, this market is so bullish. I just know they're going to run it into the close. So you buy, you buy, you buy. All of a sudden, you don't quite get the breakout. These are bullish speculators who have weak hands and they will be flushed out. So I'd mentioned to everybody in the chat room, we want to wait for a pullback. When we get that pullback, call premiums are going to vaporize. because all these guys are in here looking for all the big stocks that have been moving all day to move higher. So they're loading up on calls. They're playing lottos as well. And then when the rug gets pulled out from under them, and all you need is a half an hour or 45 minutes, and these options, they absolutely vaporize. They could go from $1.50 to 10 cents in no time. Well, guess what? We want to be the guys who buy them for 10 cents, knowing that they have the potential to rally up. So we're looking for really, really strong stocks into the close. We're looking for stocks that have had good momentum, great daily chart, and we happen upon a number of them on Friday, but we were patiently waiting and waiting. And the trade that I was watching was on Tesla. Again, I like to prove that everything that I tell you in my videos actually happened. This is in my chat room. You can see the timestamp from Friday. This is Central Time, so this is an hour before the close, an hour and 5 minutes before the close. I bought the Tesla Lotto calls. Those are the 835s that were going to be expiring. The stock was about $2 out of the money, and they were trading for 85 cents. I've been watching the stock compress while the market is pulled back. I think it wants to run, and it doesn't have to go far. So let's take a look at that trade. And you can see here how we've got Tesla. First of all, know that the market was pulling back. I'm going to put the SPY overlay up so that we can see exactly what Tesla was going, and I will show you why I knew this was going to be a good lotto play. First of all, let's go to the daily chart. You can see how Tesla's been breaking out, making new highs consecutively. So it's ready to blow. So it's got that working for it. Great D1 chart. That's why I also liked it on Wednesday. And during the day, we had this nice rally. And then when the market started to flatline here in the middle of the day, the stock did a whole lot of nothing. You see these tiny little candles. Where this is where I'm keeping an eye on it. And I see the market. These are the bullish speculators that I had mentioned to you on that new high of the day. This is the SPY, this gray line. Tick, 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 tick. They're all buy, 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 getting in as much as they can. And they get flushed out of the market. So you get this market pullback. What happened to Tesla? It was flatlining, so it was holding all of its gains while the market was pulling back. That is relative strength. And if I put up the 10 SI indicator, you're going to see orange line above zero equals relative strength. That's another way that we measure it. And most importantly, we can search for it on a 5-minute basis. A lot of our searches incorporate relative strength. So I'm looking for stocks that are pulling back. I'm looking for stocks that are rallying when the market is pulling back, pulling back, pulling back. I am searching for this relative strength. I find Tesla in here. This is where I got in. You can see the stock was at about 833, as I recall when I got into the position. So those 835 calls that I bought for 85 cents, they finished $7 in the money. Did I take something for 85 cents and sell it at $7? No, I didn't. I made about 225% on that trade. So I did not get all of the move. I didn't need to have all the move. I was very, very happy with that return. These trades are out here, and these trades set up in the last hour on a Friday. But the key component is you have to have that market tailwind. And what gave us that market tailwind and that chance for an explosion like this into the close was the fact that the market had dipped it down. It had flushed out those bullish speculators. Now we had to go in, and this also told us which stocks were ready to move higher. So we get these compressions in here, relative strength. As soon as the market finds its footing, see you later. So a little bit of information on Lotto Trades. I got to tell you, we had a lot of people making a lot of money on Lotto Trades. The key was watching the market and not being early and waiting for this pullback to get those call premiums as cheap as possible. So as far as the market's concerned, Monday, we've got a really nice breakout here. We've got the S&P 500 through that downward sloping trend line. We have it above the 50-day moving average. The overnight S&P futures right now are down about $7.50. As long as that 50-day moving average holds, so we're going to pull back, test the 50-day moving average. If the market finds support on Monday, I believe overall this technical price action tells me that it wants to head higher. We've got mega cap tech earnings coming up in the course of the next week and a half or so. That typically provides a nice, strong bid to the market. I still like day trading. So we're going to be looking for a stock that sets up well Monday for a day trade and possibly an overnight trade if you want to distance yourself from the action. Lean on that 50-day moving average. Market stays above the 50-day moving average, you can stay in the trade. But as far as a market stop level, you want to make sure the S&P closes above that level. So what I did was I ran a search, and I'm going to go into my custom search engine. I'm going to get a little bit creative here. We've got earnings season coming up. And so I'm going to mark option liquidity better than 3. So meaning these options are quite liquid. I want a stock that is above the prior day's high. Okay, well, Friday was a positive market day, so we should be able to see that. And I want a stock that is currently on a buy signal on a daily basis. I also want to go down and mark this very special box. This is something unique to Option Stalker. It's called Pre-Earnings Bull. What I've done is I've gone through over the past 3 years and I've taken a look at how stocks perform once they are inside the 2-week window for reporting earnings. That means earnings announcements are going to be coming up fairly soon. And these stocks have rallied more than 75% of the time once they get in that 2-week window during the last 3 years. So there is an upward bias. That means that these stocks are very popular. Asset managers like being long these stocks before the earnings announcement. I don't care what happens after the earnings announcement. I'm only looking for tendencies into the number because I do not plan on holding these options over the earnings announcement. Key point. I do not plan on having these options over the earnings announcement. So I want to make sure that if I'm doing any kind of bullish put spread, that the options expire before the earnings date. So what I did was I went in and I marked pre-earnings bull. So all of these stocks are bullish, and I'm looking for stocks that are going to be reporting within a window. Well, I went out to October 29th for a reason, and that's that if I picked anything inside of this window, October 29th, I'm not going to have a lot of options that I can sell because there are only a couple of weekly option expiration cycles between now and October 29th. And I didn't want to go too far out, but I went out to November 26th. So I've got about a 3-week window where companies are going to be reporting in this 3-week window, and I've still got time to sell some out of the money bullish put spreads. Remember, these stocks have a tendency to move higher once they get inside that 2-week window. I don't need them to move higher. They can stay flat. They can even move a little bit lower if I'm selling out of the money bullish put spreads. I just can't have the rug pulled out from underneath me. And I know there's bullish tendency in the stock. I know the market looks pretty good right now. I'm also going to be looking at these candidates on a daily basis, on a daily chart. And I'm going to click through these and I'm going to show you a trade that I like that's setting up pretty well. I'm going to move that off screen. We're going to take a look at some of these candidates. APA, very nice breakout here. Nice technically. Looks like a good stock. I think it's going to continue higher. A little bit choppy. It's an energy stock. DVN next on the list. Same thing. You can see how it's trying to get through this resistance level. I like it. It's run up pretty far on a pullback. I would like buying it and day trading it. But this is the one that kind of really caught my eye that I liked. And we're going to hover over the E. And you can see that it reports, this is Home Depot, it reports earnings on November 17th. So we'll want to pick an option expiration date before November 17th because I'm looking to sell an out of the money bullish put spread. And if I'm looking at this technically, I love the fact that it was finding support above the 100-day moving average, easily got back above the 50-day moving average, breakout to a new all-time high, long green candle closing on its high, and it built on that and continued to push through on Friday. It's got excellent relative strength. It had heavy volume. So now what we want to do is we want to take a look at what options might be available to us. So we're going to go into the option chain, and I selected the November 12th expiration. I'd like to get down. You can see the red dotted line is one standard deviation. So we're one standard deviation out of the money. Sell the sell the 340 puts, buy the 335 puts. I need to do this for $1 credit. Right now that credit spread is 48 cents bid, offered at $1.34. And I'm keying off of that 340 level because that used to be technical resistance. Now it will be technical support. And that's about the open of that long green candle, which I expect to be preserved on heavy volume. I'm actually expecting the stock to continue to push higher, and I have a strong market. But Pete, you can only get maybe 50 cents for it right now. That's right. Right now, probably can only get that. Market pulls back $7.50 on the S&P 500 Monday morning. The stock is probably going to pull in just a little bit and test the bid. We'd like to see half of this long green candle preserved. That will give us an opportunity to try and get that dollar for that bullish put spread. That's how I would trade it. If I'm going to swing trade, if I'm going to day trade, I am going to keep a very close eye on Home Depot. And I'm going to be waiting for that orange line to be above 0. Put over the SPY overlay, and here you can see where it's had strength relative to the market. You've got this big pullback in the market right here, that gray line with the stock holding its own and even moving higher. That's the type of relative strength that you want to see. So as the market comes in Monday, pulling back, pulling back, pulling back, pulling back, what do I want to see Home Depot doing? I'd like to see it open flat and tick, tick, tick higher when the S&P futures are down 750 on the open Monday. If I see that, I know that it's going to continue to build on the strength that it already had. So I want that relative strength. I want to let the market come in. Let's find that market support level, probably going to be around the 50-day moving average, maybe even above it. Once that support is established for the S&P 500, I'll know that I can come in. There's their low of the day, double bottom, higher low. Anything like that that looks really decent where this market has found support will tell me that it's time to buy Home Depot if it has relative strength. Watch that 50-day moving average there. I like the market right now. Got that downward sloping trend line, got a couple of bullish candles above the 50-day. Think the market's going to continue to try and inch higher for the next week or so as earnings season starts to unfold. You want to look for stocks that have strong technical breakouts on heavy volume. Thanks so much for watching. Good luck with your trades. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm Pete Stolzers, and I'm going to keep the trade ideas coming along with lots of education, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notifications so that you never miss another trade. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. I've loaded 2 other videos that I think you're really going to enjoy. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.